show. We're on the air at 9 o'clock on every weekday night, taking calls about the Jazz.
Well, hello, good evening and welcome. Welcome to Rangers Radio. We've had a slight change on the panel this evening. Fox is away on a date, so we've been joined by Bridgeman and the up-and-coming star of Rangers Radio, Linda. Evening, boys and girls.
Well, can I say a big good evening to you two on the panel? Huge good evening to the guys in the lobby and to all the Rangers fans listening in all over the world. Good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio.
Evening, Linda.
Good evening. Hope you're all well.
How are you?
I'm fine, thanks, Ox.
Big
Glad
slippers
to be
to fill
here.
in the nights. Fox isn't here, eh?
Definitely big slippers to fill.
You're very quiet.
Yeah, I'll just see if I can turn the volume up a wee bit.
Yep, you're very quiet. How are you, Bridge? How are you keeping, mate?
I'm doing very well, thank you, Oxshire. Very well indeed. Just as I say, we're on getting there to the recovery stages, getting stronger and stronger. I'm very happy.
I see Messi at Parkhead, eh?
That was quite a good one, wasn't it, actually? Yeah.
Well, my Glasgow Council gave them 6 months to tidy the place up, mate.
You know, I'm not being funny, but that news that you gave us earlier about
It's
it.
all the same, don't you jinx it.
What I was going to say was if it stays like that to the end, there's going to be a lot of happy people. A lot of happy people.
This could be an exciting show. Linda, you come on the show on Saturday, and now you've had time to reflect on the match. A couple of days, you still happy with the result?
Yeah, I think it was a good performance, Ox. Good to get the 3 points. Think probably we played much better in the second half. I think Gerard's already said that they maybe tweaked a couple of things at half time. And I think they moved the forward line around a wee bit. Although I did hear you saying the other night that why did they not sort it out themselves? Maybe if Itten was playing too wide, why did they not come in? But yeah, definitely good result. Another 3 points and just moving on to the next game and just take everything a game at a time, I think.
That sounds brilliant, Linda. Very good indeed.
Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you. Can you?
Fine. We can hear you fine. Obviously, there's a couple of stories broke. Well, one's an ongoing story, the Castor one, and the Morelos one seems to be growing traction. What's your views on that?
Well, Morelos, I think we're all, at the stage now, probably better for him to go. Probably for all parties concerned, including the club, the player, and even us as fans, because we kind of just want to draw a line under it now. And, you don't want to lose, any of your best players. But I think where Alfredo is just now, it probably would be better if he did go. I don't think, as far as I'm aware, there's been any further movement from Lille themselves. And I heard you all talking last night about, he's not, we don't want to lose him, for a reduced price, and the club are probably better to hold out for what they think he's worth. But I think it's better that moves on and he goes, basically.
Aye, well, yes or no, mate? Mate, how am I going? Aye, mate, you're still mate, yeah? Yes or no, mate? Is he going to play again for us?
No.
All right. Only time will tell. I'm in your camp, but you never know. Stranger things have happened. And lastly, the Castor, any of your friends or family bought any goods?
Not directly, not in terms of online. I think a couple of people have been into the shop and bought some stuff and queued like everybody else. But I think in terms of Castor, it goes back to the pre-order, Ox, and fans were still waiting for their tops to come in that they had ordered on the premise that they were going to get them, within, I think it was like the 4 to 6 weeks. And from what I've heard as well, a lot is to do with the customer service that fans have had. there's not been anybody at the end of a phone that can help them. There've been, emails haven't been getting answered. So I think, you all accept that there was going to be teething problems, but I think the follow-up service has been quite poor, and that's been something that's been annoying for a lot of fans.
And if you think about it, in this climate, to get a couple of people to get labour in is one of the easiest things to do, isn't it? With people losing their jobs left, right and centre.
Can I just say, Ox, I 100% agree with that, what you were saying there. Absolutely. It's a scandal that there's been nobody there to help people when they're looking for the custom, but they're no willing to. It doesn't appear that they're willing to help. So hopefully someone's going to come in and get it all sorted out and get us back on the straight and narrow as far as that's concerned.
Ox, can I just also say that
Yes.
I agreed with what you were saying last night about the fact that I think they've bit off a wee bit more than they can chew, because we're very demanding as a support, and as you rightly said, that we haven't had the same, facility or ability to buy, products, for the past so many years because of all the situations going on with, the kit manufactured before. I don't want to mention his name, or the businessman we were dealing with. And I think the demand, has probably surprised them. But I just wish they had actually taken a bit of a step back and perhaps only put out, a smaller number of products that we could buy. But a lot of that would have come from the Rangers fans themselves, because even things like on social media, and when the two brothers were interviewed, there was pictures of the Rangers players all wearing all the new kit, and the fans were saying, when can we buy that? So they were probably trying to, appease us a wee bit. But I think probably they might regret that looking back. But hopefully they'll get it sorted.
I hope for the support. I'm not worried about their business. I'm worried about their support and their punters. But ultimately, if it's a good deal for us and it becomes a good deal for the club, and that's why we buy the stuff under it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it is all about the club, and it was a good deal. That we got in terms of Castore and also what they were willing to do, so that a certain individual couldn't match their offer, and we could move on and draw a line under that part. So I think that was good for us.
Aye, well, hopefully things improve and get better, and with these teething problems, customer service problems, Bridge, they disappear.
Well, that's what we desperately need, isn't it? Everybody's lauding them and saying that most of the people who have bought from the stores, done all the queuing, went into the stores, bought the stuff, they're over the moon with it. However, I'm not dead sure whether there's a problem after washing, and maybe there's no. So don't get me wrong, I don't know if there is or not. There may be some problems there, because that's one of the weak points of some of the clothes that you buy anyway. But if it's manufacturer level, apparently there's somebody in Turkey and somebody in China making them, and there's a difference between the two, and whether in fact one's better than the other, I'm not dead sure. So they need to get all that sorted out and reassure the fans.
We've just had a bit of stick in the lobby for our Mr. Skipper, Bridgeman.
Oh, and the reason?
The panel tonight is no sense and sensibility.
No sense and sensibility. Skipper.
Oh dear. I don't know what he's getting at, Linda.
Skipper says to butter.
He's just ignore the noise.
I just put Skipper's more than noise into Bridge.
I'm just laughing again. It wasn't something Skipper said. If only the panel were as sensible as us in the lobby. Well said, Skipper.
I'm still recovering from his line the other night. Must try harder, he said. Reminds me of my honeymoon.
Oh, God. How did he rate? Oh, must try harder.
Oh, dear, what a man. So, we park all these things, Linda. The Wi-Fi deal that was announced, yesterday, Monday, things have took off. Is that something that will please you when you go to the match, when we eventually get to go to the match? The fact that you'll be able to use the Wi-Fi in the stadium, and you'll be able to use a modern facility. Rangers will be able to push all their stuff on it, of course, but it'll be an upgrade to what we've got this now. Eh?
Yeah, I think it's important, things like that, Ox, because it's kind of a moving forward and it's what folk use, you know. And I think I saw a couple of posts on social media, on Twitter, saying, well, folks shouldn't be worried about Wi-Fi, they're going to watch a football match, but that's not what it's about now. People want to be on their phone, they want to check things, they want to text people, they want to, you know, go onto social media forums before the game, after the game. It's just the way of modern times. But the Wi-Fi it's been non-existent. So, and I think even when you get maybe within half a mile of the stadium, you don't really have any signal. So I think it's anything about moving forward for the club, I think, is a positive.
I've got to say, Bridge, that skipper is a creep.
What's he done now?
He's just said, of course, the Wi-Fi will be great because I can listen to Linda on my way to the match.
Oh, what is he like? What is he like? Unbelievable.
He is a creep.
Unbelievable.
He's never said that about me, and you never had a good.
You know, I tell you what, I looked up to that man greatly. That's kind of shocked with that one.
Oh dear, Bridgeman, you use your Wi-Fi. You like to keep up with other games that's happening and look at things. So it will improve. I feel like it'll not improve the football, but it will improve the match day experience.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's tons of people. Well, certainly up at the Copeland Rear. Lots of them round about me. They want to get on their phone and look at the racing results and all that nonsense. You know, they want to be able to do that while they're sitting there and watching the match. And they thought they were getting it the last time. And as soon as it opened it up and says, there you are, it flooded it. It just completely flooded it. So I don't know how many were expecting, but they ended up with saying that they couldn't cope with 30,000 people. Well, okay, what can you say? Rangers have got a full stadium. They should be catering for at least 60 and maybe 70,000. That's what, on their Wi-Fi. That's what they should be catering for.
But not everybody's going to be using it at the same time, are they?
No. All I'm saying is when you're buying it, you buy the capacity. You're buying capacity to cope with that. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
All right, Linda, is there anything that's obviously struck you in the last few days? It's come out of the Rangers world. Anything with some news? Some of our players have made the Scotland squad. I don't know how we've managed it. We've managed to get 2 goalies in the Scotland squad.
Yeah, that was quite a surprise, Ox. I think, you know, obviously we maybe forgot about Robbie McCrory because he's on loan. But yeah, I think that's good. You know, the more players that we've got pushing through the Scottish national team, I think, you know, the better really, because it shows that we're doing well. And, you know, in the past, we've always had players in the Scottish national team. And, you know, I think it's a good thing for the club and it's good for the players themselves.
Yeah, I mean, it's what's to support the Scottish national team, sadly, Bridger.
Well, look, I'm well quoted in saying some of these things. I don't want any Rangers player to be playing for Scotland. That's my honest opinion, because I've forgot about Scotland. I don't really want to even think about them. I think the treatment of Rangers since 2012 has been nothing short of disgraceful, and nobody's come up and try to help Rangers. I've never asked them for anything, nothing at all. Do you need anything? Nothing like that. But somewhere along the line, look, I don't know. Is it because some of these guys are playing with Aberdeen, for instance? Is it because the goalkeepers will be Aberdeen? You know, the other goalkeepers were Rangers, and McGregor's there. Why was McGregor not called up?
It's Rob. McGregor's retired, then it's Robbie.
Oh, he's retired for the international, yeah.
It's Robbie McCrory who plays.
I know, pal. I know. The goalkeeper and McLaughlin. I'm happy enough for them. You know, I'm delighted for them because that's what they want.
I don't think anybody would argue that will be mistreated, and I don't want to get into the whole Scotland debate because that opens another can of worms, and people are very passionate about it. Our own JFK's never been a Scotland fan, whereas there'll be people on here who've turned their back on Scotland as a team because of the political situation in the country, and that just opens a whole can of worms. But
absolutely, but
it's good. You're right. It is great for the individuals involved, but it just shows you, in particular with the youths. I think we've got 7 of the youth players. We had the debate last week, London, about what was the point of the youth set up, but we've got 7 in the under 21s, and I don't think the other team, who I believe are still losing, are have got any.
No, and the Robbie McCrory particularly, Ox, when I was looking at him being called up, and somebody posted something about the fact he's come up from, the Scottish, I think it's under 12s, 13s, 14s, all the way through, and that's him now in his full national team call up, and that boy must be so proud, and his family must be really proud of him too.
I agree. Sorry, Paul.
If I was his brother, I'd say, well, you've never played in goal for the Rangers.
I think that augurs well for his future at Rangers, to be perfectly honest with you, because we've got two really good goalkeepers with McGregor and McLaughlin, but they're of they're past that sort of age where McCrory could in fact start getting the odd game here and there in the Rangers team. Depending how well he does with Aberdeen, you might find him coming back to Ibrox at the end of the season, and he might be the number one goalkeeper. You just never know.
And obviously, this is only media reports. We don't know it to be true, but according to the media, Ryan Kent's told everybody that he's happy to stay at Rangers, Linda.
I'm so delighted about that, Ox, because I think, actually, ironically, we would maybe be more disappointed now if Ryan Kent was sold or he left the club, because, as we said earlier, Alfie's probably on his way, and it's probably best that he does go. But I think the way that Kent started the season, and I know it's early doors, and he does need to, show a bit of consistency. He scored some big goals in since he's been here. And we want him to do that, more regularly. But I've been really delighted with the way Ryan Kent started the season, and he's happy. And I think that's probably more important to him, Ox, perhaps, than, I know money talks, but maybe, he'll stay put for maybe even this season, if not next too. But I'm really delighted that Ryan Kent's going to stay, hopefully.
I would say that so far, Bridgeman, Kent and Goldson have been the most consistent players this year.
I think particularly Goldson. Kent, of course, I absolutely love the guy. I think he's a superb player. He's got one of the most skillful.
Pick out a centre half.
No, I'm saying I think Kent's one of the most skillful players we've ever had at Ibrox, to be honest. I think that Goldson really, really good, and I've sung his praises as he came. But we noticed a few times he had a couple of wee blips here and there, and cost us a few goals. And even own goals against him. But really and truly, you look at him the tail end of last season and the first few games this season, including the friendlies, he's really, really come on to it. Really come on to it. And he's an example, a great example to the younger players that want to play at centre half. There's a lad there you could look at. He's not the toughest guy in the whole world, and he's not the tallest guy in the whole world, nor is he the fastest. But my goodness, he combines a lot. And he makes a good job of what he does. Plays very well. Great influence in the team as well.
He has been consistent this year. I would just have Kent edging it because he's done the thing that's hardest in the game, Linda, because he scored the goals.
Yeah, that's probably right, Ox. Big goals as well. Game-winning goals like the one up in Aberdeen. That got us 3 points. He's obviously, had a couple of good performances in between that, and then obviously getting the goal on Saturday when it just kind of put everybody's nerves, we put us at ease and, took away some of the nerves that we had, because we were all thinking, we need to get that second goal. But even just his goal apart, I thought he played really well. He was quite bright. He was looking up all the time. He was trying to make things happen. And he looks as if he's really enjoying his football just now.
Yeah, a big thing, Bridge, if you've got that confidence and you're enjoying it.
Oh, absolutely. And what was said there was, the fans are very nervous in most games now, and it's only natural because this season it's a big season for everybody, and we really need to be. That's why I think the Livingston result was so poor for us, and made us all feel. I was shocked. I was in shock for about 4 days, 4 or 5 days. I just couldn't believe that we couldn't beat that mob. With the amount of possession we had and the amount of the stats were all in our favour. I just couldn't believe it. But I believe it now, of course, it happened. So Rangers need to keep winning, and that, I think, because of that need, I think that's what creates this nervousness that you were saying there, Linda. Because it's with us all the time, and it's going to be like this every game. Every single game is going to be like this until we score the first goal, the second goal, whatever it is. Get in front in some way or other and start to pick the game up and play well. That's what I feel anyway, you know.
Right, Bridge, if people want to join us, give us their thoughts, come and speak to Bridgeman and Linda. Yeah, Bridgeman, you can take bacon tonight. Linda, you can take the DIY questions, yeah?
Bacon, absolutely. Nice one.
We're up for diversity on Rangers Radio. What's the number, Bridge?
The number's 0141 356 1972.
Or join us at Skype at RangersRadio.online. We're old school blue. We'll bring you in. Oh, I think we've been joined by somebody who's was reported missing, but is back with us again. Evening, Fox.
Good evening, lads.
Nurse Gladys is in, is she?
No, I got a dizzy, mate.
You know, it doesn't matter which decade you're from. The word's the same, innit? And it means the same.
I know. I think it was my dress sense, mate. I had a nice tweed jacket on, some nice Gino trousers, but the sliders and white socks might have put her off, you know.
Standing there, and the taxi's driving round and round and round. You're looking at me, I'm not going with that one. Just take me in, Jack. Take me in.
Oh, dear. Oh, Fox.
Brilliant, Foxy, brilliant.
I can't believe you still get that tweed jacket. How we doing, Fox?
I'm doing fine, thank you very much.
Anything sprung to your mind for you? You're a man of study in the forums in the Rangers world. What have you been picking up with day, mate?
I picked up, firstly, was the Scottish Government knocking back the Tims for have 1,000 supporters into the ground. I was all for that, you know.
All right, mate.
Aye, well, in times of sort of emergencies or a viral breakout, you know, the medical people like to experiment on lab rats, mate. And I think that you don't get any closer to a rat than a Celtic supporter. So I was happy that they were going to get a trial first.
Foxy, that's shocking.
I can see your thinking there. I'm no one for spreading rumours, as you well know, Bridgeman, but I heard the government knocked it back because they couldn't guarantee the cleanliness of the people in
Oh, my God. Oh. You're a pair of shockers, you and that, Fox,
and when they had the trial, they had to put signage up for people to use the hand sanitisers, and they couldn't work out how to work it, mate.
Oh my God! They take us. I'm on mute.
I don't know myself, but that's what I was told, Linda. I don't know. It might not be true, but you never know.
I haven't read anything else really much about it, apart from the fact that I did hear that it, you know, it's not to go ahead now at the weekend, but there's not really any kind of reasoning coming out as to why it was knocked back, Ox, is my understanding.
Well, I've also heard that they're looking to do it in a Wednesday game for them, because that's neither their weekly bath on a Sunday.
There you go, me again.
I don't know, but you know what I mean, come on, you've got to be honest about it. Remember, the board of directors had to send them a letter about their hygiene. It's no us, it was their board of directors, Fox, wasn't it?
Oh my God.
Anyway, Fox, anything else tickle you?
I've been looking back over the forums, and I've noticed a wee trend that Rangers supporters saying that they couldn't give a hoot about Europe this year, and that's disappointing me.
Explain your rationale, mate. I'll give you my thoughts, and we'll go around the panel, right? I get where you're coming from, Fox, but if you were to ask me the question, if we went out in the last qualifying games and didn't make if we didn't make, say, the group stages this year, but you promised me we'd win the league, I'd snap your hand off, Fox.
Well, probably, but I think long term for the club, mate, I don't think the fans realise how important the money or the income coming for Europe is for our club going forward.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, due to our valiant efforts over the last couple of years, we've guaranteed ourselves, all going well, a European a Champions League spot next year, and that's a tremendous achievement. Rangers have boosted up the coefficient in Europe. Well, I think we've went for about 214th into about 90 odds in the rankings, and I think that's tremendous. And the Tims haven't done much for it since we have really took part in Europe, and the other clubs who have been in our place have done even more miserably. And I'm just glad to see our club striving forward and carrying the banner into Europe for Scotland.
I get you. Small trivial question for the two panels this evening, Linda. Plus or minus 20,000. How many people do you think have watched Rangers under Stevie Gerrard at Ibrox in Europe?
Say that again, sorry, Ox, I didn't catch that last bit.
Plus or minus 20,000. How many people do you think have watched Rangers at Ibrox under Steven Gerrard?
Oh, plus.
Plus or minus 20,000 either way, yeah? There's a prize.
Plus 20,000.
Yeah, plus or minus. If you go 20,000 over or 20,000 under, I'll get you.
All right, sorry, Ox, sorry, I was...
Linda, it's bad enough with Bridge. If I make them too easy, Bridge gets them. I'm trying to make them spice them up for Bridge.
In Europe, sorry, let me think, let me see, right, home games, oh my goodness, we talk about 50,000, 10, oh, I don't know, 4 million.
Unlucky. Bridge, man, you've not got a lot to beat here.
Sorry.
I think if it's only in Europe, is it just in Europe you're speaking?
Just in Europe.
Just in Europe. I think it's somewhere close to 1 million.
You're no far away. It's approximately 800,000.
800,000, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say, I know. 800,000.
Well said, Foxy, then. Well said.
Approximately. We've played 16 home ties that we reckon that everyone's been sold out. So you just take the revenue, Linda, for these 16 games without anything else. It's tremendous money, yeah.
Can I just ask what Linda's score was there?
Bridge, you won the competition. Linda
No. What did she say it was? I didn't quite pick it up. What did she go
Bridge,
for?
She's new to the panel. You can't rub her nose in it like that. Mate.
Okay.
She said 4 million, but
4 million. That's fine.
If you take average of 30 quid a ticket, 40 quid a ticket, whatever you want to do with the hospitality, you're looking lots of money. You're looking maybe 25, 30 million quid just in ticket sales, Bridge.
Close to it, son. Close to it, yeah. If it's quite incredible what they're doing. What is it? Is it 40 quid a game or something like that?
Approximately. So that would make it about 33 million quid, mate.
Incredible. Just incredible. Well, Rangers are certainly, I've said this before, I'm so proud to be a Rangers fan. And I love going to Ibrox, and I love listening to the stadium, listening in the stadium when it's full. It's marvellous, great atmosphere, European nights, outstanding, just outstanding. And I love it. I love the way we play, and I love our attitude towards the whole game. It's just great to be a Ger and be in there. Marvellous. Really happy.
Linda, I don't think we realise, but we've had some blips under Steven Gerrard, particularly domestically, but that's some record in Europe, isn't it? And some money.
Yeah, it's some amount of money, and I think we've basically started to we've basically been rebuilding our reputation in Europe as well. And I think, as Fox says, it is important for the club. Just in that alone. Because when you think about, the year before he came in, we get put out against a team that we hadn't even heard of. And I think the European football has been really, really important. In terms of what you would rather have, I think we're getting to the stage now where I can understand why some fans would just want domestic success, because we're all craving that. Because we're missing even just winning a cup. But yeah, certainly the European football has been unbelievable. I mean, I've been to some amazing European nights over the last couple of years, and it's been absolutely fantastic.
Just to let you know, if you look at the UEFA calculator for this year, and it gives you the coefficiency, Scotland are into 14th, mostly due to the efforts of a certain club from the south west of the city. And even UEFA know, best team, Rangers.
Yeah.
There you go, Bridger.
Most assuredly. And it's been marvellous to be part of that. This last couple of seasons under Gerrard, going into Europe has been a real good adventure. I'm not able to go to the away games anymore, but my goodness gracious, wouldn't it be fantastic to be part of that? Turn the clock back 20, 30 years and go, and just out there in your travels, and you're going to see the Rangers. Just amazing. So I get quite jealous when you see some of the boys there, but it's marvellous. The follow mob are brilliant. Just great for the club.
Maybe one of the judges will live that Asbo one of these times, Bridge.
Aye, true. True.
And we'll get you abroad. Bridge, man, if people want to join us, what's the number?
The number's 0141 356 1972.
Or join us at Skype at RangersRadio.online. We brought in the call by Old School Blue. It's amazing, really, Fox. You're right, mate. It is a journey. It's been really important as a revenue stream, and I don't really know if I've had the credit we deserve, mate.
No, I don't. I'm beginning to wonder whether the fans appreciate it as well. Everything that's getting done at Ibrox, you're talking there about Wi-Fi. We've done up the front of the most parts of the ground. We've spent money inside the ground. We've been able to attract better standard of players. And this all comes at a price, and the price has been in Europe for me. I think you get £2 million for winning the league in Scotland, where just to get to the Europa group stages, you go past that with prize money in 2.3 million. So, I mean, it's been a terrific run since Steven Gerrard's come in. And it just shows you that when you play an open game of football, Rangers are a really good side to me.
Got a point there, Linda. Some of the European results have been fabulous. The games have been really exciting. We've enjoyed them. And then we go and we watch Kilmarnock and Livingston. What excites you more?
Yeah, I think it's been really exciting, the European games, because I think we're actually more suited to playing European football at times, because it's there's a lot more space and we like to play the counter-attacking style. But you go back to the bread and butter games of every week, sometimes it's hard to lift, yourself for those games. But I do think that, that's what we do need to do going forward, Ox. We need to make sure that it's these bread and butter games that we win.
Just got a point, Bridge. Consistency.
Yeah, it can't be denied. And, I've said earlier, I thoroughly enjoyed watching my team. That it's, you come up against it like that team we just lost against the German team, who were, for the greatest will in the world, they were a class above us, maybe even two. And I think the team that we've got right now, with the better quality players in it, if we met that team at the tail end of this season, it might be a different ball game, because you're going to have some decent players playing decent football at that time. However, I'm under no illusions. It's the man's dragged us forward, lifted us up. I was over at Ibrox seeing him when he came. Big crowd, 8,000 or 8 or 9,000 people. Are just fabulous. What a reception he got. And he's never stopped. It's just never stopped. There has been a couple of times when he's made a few mistakes here and there, and the fans sometimes maybe don't forgive him for a couple of hours or maybe a couple of days. But in reality, they absolutely love him. And I think he's just great. He's just great for our club, and our club are great for the fans.
I mean, when you think his record, Ox, and especially this year, just before we got into the last 16, we'd played 16 games. We had 10 wins, 5 draws, and only 1 loss. I think that was the young boys, which is a terrific turn for our club and a great booster for the morale of the supporters. We did fall at the hurdle of Bayer Leverkusen, who before that game, I think the whole support would have agreed they may have been a step too far for us. But what a run it was, mate. Absolutely fantastic. In the qualifiers, we won most of our games, aye.
Legia Warsaw was a good result, Fox, aye.
Aye, that was a terrific result for us. But I was saying that I've lost my train of thought here. Aye, the teams that we played, mate, Porto, Feyenoord, Young Boys, and Sporting Braga, mate, and to come through that group for a club who were just beginning to build a side was absolutely tremendous. And I don't think the manager got the real credit for what him and his staff managed to produce to get us there.
All right, we've been joined by George for UK. Evening, George, mate.
All right, lads and lady. How you doing?
George, I like it, you old smoothie.
Yeah.
Evening.
How you doing, sweetheart? All right?
I'm fine, George. How's yourself?
Yeah, fine.
No, I'm not that way, mate. I'm not that way. Just guys say, I thought we excelled in Europe last year. We surpassed ourselves. I think this year we could do even better. But can I go back to a point earlier on? See that point about Fox was saying about the testing?
Aye.
About that mob at Hingway. At the end of the day, I don't know how they could possibly do that, because if bubonic plague was started with a Hingway, a rat, it was carrying a flea. So that means you need to catch themselves with it.
I get where you're coming from, George.
Yeah, we're coming for.
I get it, George.
Catch a rat.
I get it, George. I'm not saying it's funny, but I get it.
Shot me down for him.
No, it wasn't bad, George. Wasn't bad. Stephen Gerrard in Europe, the team in Europe, George. You said they surpassed yourself. What results stood out for you?
Well, at the end of the day, man, I mean, Porto, Feyenoord, Legia Warsaw, they were no mugs I'm talking about. And obviously, man, Braga. Sporting Braga was a great result and all. And I think if we tried a wee bit harder, we could have done better against Hingway. Bayern Leverkusen, to be honest with you. Especially in the second round.
I think we get mugged at Ibrox. We were really pushing 2-1, try to get back in the game, Bridge.
See the guy scored the goal. The one, I think it was the first goal. Right at the top bin. I blame Giggsy for that, because I think he was off his line. And the player clocked it. If you go back and look at it, you can see he's off his line. That's why he took the shot.
You're a hard taskmaster, but they were a good side, George. You know, it was no disgrace, was it?
I remember, right, back in 74, the World Cup, right? You should remember this and all, so don't try to make it your daddy, right? I was supporting Holland.
My dad and Granda told me about it, George.
Right. But I remember saying, I supported Holland, right? I'm like, Holland, that's Holland, that man, Holland, that. The final, my dad went like to me. He says, who you think's going to win, Daddy? He went, the Germans. And I went, what do you mean the Germans? And he goes, see that wee guy there? And I was like, I didn't know who was pointing this wee kind of chubby guy with a beard. And I goes, who are you talking about? He was like, see him? Talking about Gerd Müller. You know, like, see him? He'll win the game for Germany. He's never hang with the Germans. Never hang with the Germans. And what happened? They won 2-1, you know what I mean? Gerd Müller scored the winner.
Well.
They've always been like that, you know what I mean? They're always a good team. They're always saying about the quarterfinals, the semis, you know what I'm talking about, or in the final.
But they didn't do so well at El Alamein, did they?
They get monkered all there.
Yeah, I think that last game against the German team, we were well beaten. Both ties. I think it was a mountain we had to climb going over to play them over there, because we hadn't actually played. That was the last big game that we played, yeah. and it was the first game we played as well this time. That's what it seemed like to me. And the difference, if we had managed to keep our team and keep them fit, that's a different ball game. We've sitting for 4 months, sitting, don't know, unable to train, unable to do anything. Too much for us. Too much for us, pal.
I know you're coming to this, man.
All right, we've been joined by a caller on Skype. Evening, caller.
Hello, Ox. How you doing, mate?
All right.
It's Alec here.
All right, Alec. How you doing, mate? All right.
Aye, I'm fine. How's the bridge, man, tonight?
Oh, thanks, Alec. Good. I'm doing well, pal. What about yourself?
Yeah, doing fine, and nice to hear Linda.
Why?
Hi, Alex.
Yeah, very, very good points you make. I was very impressed with you on Saturday when you phoned in.
You
Thank
never
you.
say that to me when you phone in.
No, but we're used to your high standard, Ox.
Oh, all right, okay. I don't like a creep, by the way. That George started to creep now.
No, I know. I think George thought it was first dates he was phoning into initially.
Hey, come on.
Leave George alone.
Aye. I'm Anderson.
Hi, George.
How you doing, Chief? All right?
I'm fine.
Alex, we're talking about the European run. We're talking about the money it's brought into the club, and we know the point I think that Fox is making, how important it is to keep us driving us forward. But we are desperate for domestic success as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely. Aye. Listen, the domestic games are the foundation of success that the whole club's been built on. Europe's a bonus, but you can't take it away from Gerrard's record. The last two years has been absolutely fantastic. I mean, you were talking earlier about the kind of games that's standing out. See the whole, even through the qualifiers last year, we played Midtjylland. 2 hard games against them. That team went on to win the Danish league last year. They're now involved in Champions League qualifiers.
And
we then
who was
played
second? Who was second in that Danish league?
Copenhagen, I think.
And who did they knock out?
The puddle drinkers.
Or the rat catchers, as George calls them.
Definitely. But even after that, Ox, we played Legia Warsaw. They went on to win the
result.
Yeah, it was so hard game. But they went on to win the Polish league. Young Boys went on to win the Swiss league. Porto won the Portuguese league. And Feyenoord are, a very established team in European competition. So, yep, every single
great
game.
Result. The Legia Warsaw game was, they were a good side, mate, and that was a fantastic result just to qualify.
Definitely. I mean, very, very hard games, the 2 games. I was fortunate enough to beat Ibrox that night. What an atmosphere. It was brilliant. And Jordan Jones came on and changed that game for me. See the last 20 minutes, quarter an hour when he came on, it was his cross that found Alfie in the 87th minute. But what a finish with the wee man.
Aye, it was one of the biggest rows I've heard at Ibrox. I don't know if you were there that particular night, Linda, but it was one of the biggest rows because of the emotion and because of what it meant to us. We knew the tie was finished. Well, we hoped the tie was finished. We hoped they didn't score, but good time to score, last 2 minutes.
Yeah, it was a great game. I was at that game, Ox, and it was the night where there was all the smoke in the stadium because the League of Warsaw fans had brought their flares and all that with them.
It was a shame their banner never went up in smoke, wasn't it? But that's another story.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, that was a great game. That in terms of the match, the players getting taken off the pitch and just the whole atmosphere that night was absolutely amazing. And then, as Alex said, Jordan Jones' cross for Alfie to score, and goodness, he certainly repaid us for in Europe. Alfie, hasn't he? He really, really put in some big performances for us.
Aye, there's 2 Alfredo Morelos, isn't there? Go to George with us, George. We know Alfredo's a good player, but we know he can be petulant and let the team down. So there's 2 sides to the coin. But hopefully, if he is going to leave the club, he does it properly and he can go with everybody's best wishes, mate.
Here.
Totally, man. At the end of the day, man, he's got a Latin temperament, not I'm talking about. and they've got a tendency to get half the boil a wee bit, know what I mean? Lose the plot. So do we all, let's be honest about it. But at the end of the day, I hope we get a decent, everything goes all right, because Alfie's been absolutely spectacular for us, let's be honest about it. He's been an absolutely outstanding player for us. And what he's offered us, what he gave us, know what I mean? It's absolutely outstanding at the end of the day, man. And I hope to God, really, that he leaves through the front door, not through the back door.
Aye, exactly, mate, exactly. Alex?
Aye, reiterate what George says there. I mean, we've been fortunate enough to have some fantastic foreigners that's played for our club for the last 20, 30 years. You can rhyme them. Novo, Negri, Michael Moles, Arthur Newman. But one thing that they guys all done, as well as wear the jersey with pride, they fell in love with the club. And every single time they have like a Legends game or a function or something to come back to, the warmth that they get off the Rangers support is still there for them because of the way they conducted themselves and the way they performed in our shirt. So I hope Alfie doesn't burn his boats too much and, leaves his head held high.
I read a wee article today with Mel Sterling, who was raised in 88, 89, only for 6 months. And he was advising Kent not to leave Rangers to go to Leeds. He said it's a downward step, and he done the exact same thing. Yeah, because he was told as soon as he wasn't wanted. Anyway, we're joined by Blue Star. Evening, Blue Star.
Evening, Oxter. Evening, Bridge.
Hi, Blue Star.
Hi, Blue Star.
Her name, Linda. Is that the new accountant? Aye.
I did get my maths higher, believe it or not.
Aye, higher's the word. It was really 4 B's and you went for 4 million. Ox, the bit about Kent, I think that was refreshing and good to hear for all the Bears. That predominantly, supposedly, he's come out and he said that he doesn't want to go anywhere, that he wants to stay. So that's only good for the club. That's what we want to hear. But we all know money talks. It's like everything else. Every player's got a price now, haven't they? On the European thing, I totally agree with Fox. The only thing I would say, I don't think any of us would disagree that predominantly and first and foremost this season, the only thing we're really interested, let's be honest, is winning that league. Yes, if the games come up, which they will, we try and progress as far as we can, but first and foremost, it's all about the league, mate,
I think, and I'll go to Fox with this, but will the support be able to throw in £30 million to compensate? That's the question Fox is asking.
If Linda's doing the sums, we might.
Blue Star, I agree with you. I know what the number one target for the fans is. It's not title number 55. It's what we all want, but we shouldn't disregard the Europa League runs. That's why
definitely not.
And what it brought, how it came up, and my trainer thought today was, I noticed that the draw is on Monday for this year's run at it, and I just thought it would be a nice wee subject to talk about tonight.
Yeah.
Can I just say on the Morelos thing, I know?
Yes, mate.
I listened to Talk Sport the other last week, I think it was, and Danny Murphy was on it, and he's talking about when clubs come in for players in the modern game, that there's a lot of things that fans don't understand what goes on behind the scenes. Whereas if the clubs come to a kind of stalemate where we are with Leo at the moment, the buying club then leans on the player and maybe say to him, well, it's up to you now to get your move, i.e. be disruptive, don't try as hard, etc., etc. And he says this goes on in the game all over Europe, mate. And we've got to understand.
What was done to us, Fox, when Sky came in for him, he kept going on mute when he came off of mute. You know what I mean? We let the job of that.
Kept banging the teacups about and disrupting the sound. We know what it's like.
Yeah, I know. You know,
Shockers.
Silent protest when Sky came
Shockers.
By the way, Fox, the game's never changed as far as that's concerned. It's only the money that's involved that makes it different, isn't it?
Aye, but he was saying that the thing that he noticed new in modern football was the pressure the buying club puts on the agent, and that's transferred onto the player to be disruptive. I don't think Alfie's really been that disruptive. I thought he'd started the season well, but I also think that probably Rangers had promised him a move as early as January last year, and whatever happened, we've persuaded him to stay on to the end of the season. And now I think he's known about the Lille offer for a long time, mate, and maybe he's just waiting on his move. He's been a great servant for us for £1 million, and if we make 16, 18 times what we paid for him, that is really good business.
All right, fair enough. I think we've been joined by Luke. Evening, Luke.
Hi, good evening.
How we doing, mate? All right?
Not too bad, yeah.
You've got a bug
just
for this Rangers Radio, haven't you?
No, I just remembered the point I was just wanting to ask you all what you make of the loss of Gerrard letting go, Daniel Candeias. I know it's been a wee while ago, but I feel, he's the sort of the player that, we've said we've missed, this season and, the season before. So just wondering your thoughts on that.
I'll take it on the panel. Do you want my personal thoughts first?
No, just everyone's opinion.
My personal thoughts was we could improve in Daniel Candeias. I loved his work ethic, and he was a guy, if you like, a fan's favourite. But for me, to get to the next stage, we had to improve in Daniel Candeias, and also we had to look at his age and whether it made sense. Linda, and then Alex.
Yeah, I would agree with that, Ox. I always used to get quite frustrated with Daniel Candeias, actually. I didn't think he was consistent enough at times. And I know there's the chat about the fact that he covered a lot for Tav, and maybe he did do that, and it was kind of a lot of work that got unrecognised. But no, I thought we did need to improve in Daniel. I thought he did all right, and we wished him luck when he moved on. But no, I didn't. I don't think we miss Daniel Candeias, no.
Alex, and then George for UK.
Well, I'm in agreement there with Linda. You speak far too much sense to be on this panel, Linda.
Don't worry, Alex. We're getting her drug tested after the show. We know that she's not very good at arithmetic.
I'm in agreement where Candeias, just his age and everything was kind of going against him. But apart from that, Gerrard asked him the question, do you want to stay and fight for your place? Because seemingly he went to Gerrard demanding that he started, and Gerrard couldn't promise him that because he wasn't in the position to do so. So he asked him to fight for his place, and he wasn't able to do that. So if you don't want to be at the club, I'm afraid you just pastures new, you're bound on that. And just as I speak, Celtic have scored, bugger.
Well, I would keep that yourself, mate. You're never very popular when you give bad news on here, mate. Right, George, UK.
I totally agree with Ali and Linda, both their points. I thought he was not. He was a decent player. But I thought his crossing into the box was a bit shoddy, to be honest with you. It was mostly along the ground.
You wouldn't have said shoddy if Linda wasn't here, would you?
What's that?
You wouldn't have said shoddy if Linda wasn't here.
And I said too, Bob, but
carry on, George.
But at the end of the day, man, you know what I mean? We've got to move forward. He's banging the manager's door, man. Want to start every week? Can't offer him a start every week. You know what I mean? I think he'd reached his peak at Rangers, man, and that was it. You know what I mean? It was time, as you say, his pastures new. Get somebody else in to fill that void.
Blue Star then the Bridge.
For me, he done all right. Ox. He had some great games and he had some really quite poor games in between. There's no doubt about it. Probably if he'd been younger, the manager would have kept on to him certainly for at least another season. But the age thing, he was well on. What was he, 30 or something? Obviously, his age went against him too, but no doubt about it. The wee guy more than done well for himself for the time that he was there.
It wasn't the worst we've ever had, mate. He done okay, but I think you're going to always evolve. Bridgeman.
Yeah, he turned out to be a really good player for us, but his really good part started to fade. He would only get that in the first, maybe the next 3 games or something like that, 1 out of 3. But there was times in which he was absolutely superb, and a great assist for Tavernier on the right. And then he became a good friend of, allegedly became a good friend of Morelos. So he's helped both those players out in their game. And I thought he really covered a lot of ground when him and Tav were playing together. Look, I've got no problem with what you guys have said. I think he reached the end of his game and his natural game. I think it was coming to an end, and he got a good offer for Rangers to go and find yourself a club or whatever, and he did. I don't know where he is, but I just wish him well, and I wished him well then. He certainly was starting to fade a wee bit as far as the Rangers stardom was concerned.
Fox, last word.
I've got to agree with what a lot of the panel members said. He was a good worker in the side, but I thought he kind of lacked a final product a lot of the time. He was a workhorse, as I say, a wee bit like Jason Holt, mate, that charged about for 90 minutes and done his best at that level. Candias was a level above Jason, but done the same sort of thing in the side for me. And he was 31 when he left Rangers, so it was time for him to move on, I think.
Look, you seem to be in a minority here. I'll give you the chance to put your view, mate. Yeah, obviously you liked him. I don't think people disliked him, but it's just always...
I just felt, that the season that he left, we brought in Shea Ojo, which turned out to be a disaster, and we had no right wing, a proper right wing to play.
Yeah,
that's
a fair point about Ojo. I wish Bo Stardug was here. He would tell you about Ojo, mate, how he flattered to deceive, mate, and obviously scored a tremendous goal against Feyenoord and then just disappeared, didn't he?
How was that?
I think they had high hopes for him, mate, and it never materialised. That's the chance you make when you bring a player in loan or a transfer, mate. You don't know if it's going to work out.
And I feel there's still no official right wing, at the club. This is the point I was making to Candias, why they let him go. For me, Hadji's been shipped out on the right. He's a cam, and the thing is, they still don't have anyone. If Hadji was to not play or was to be, injured. I mean, obviously you've got people playing out of position, like you can put your Barker, Murphy, but there's still no right wing at the club.
You forgot about the guy we've just signed, mate, who scored the goal on Saturday, mate. That's what he's played a lot of his career, Mr. Roof.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying the right wing, the position, you're playing players out of the position and things. You've got to have many players for the position to challenge.
Mm-hmm. All right, mate. Oh, look, just hold on. We're going to have a tune and we'll come right back to you. Get yourself and mute everybody, particularly the people on the phone, and we'll have a tune for Old School Boy.
We support the Glasgow Rangers, do not Ibrox is the place, and we will follow in the championship race. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. It's true, the magic boys in blue are the best team in the land. You've got to cure and govern to get a ticket for the stand. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. We've spent a lot of money on great players, yes, that's true. But the Rangers fans deserve the best from the boys in royal blue. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. Ago the story, it was dismal, full of gloom. Now we're building an extension for the Ibrox Trophy room. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. In Europe we'll be travelling by land and sea and plain. The teddy bears have got the bears and we're on the march again. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue.
Oh, you like that one, Bridge, didn't you?
I'm just skating round the scullery, boy. That's brilliant, isn't it?
Skating round the scullery.
Boys in blue are just magic on the ball.
Oh dear, you like that tune, Linda?
Yeah, that was a catchy wee number.
Catchy number. Oh dear. Are you back with us, Luke?
Yeah, no, yep.
Yeah, I accept your point that we never improved the team with Shea Ojo coming in. Yeah. And I don't know if we improved the team with only time will tell for with the boy Hadji coming in, but I think it was time to part company with Candias. And that's the gamble when you bring in new players. Poster.
Aye, definitely. Your team's got to evolve every season. That as soon as we've got a bit of cash, that he's got to try and make it better. So obviously, Candias went. As I say, the guy never played bad. He did okay. For us. He certainly did do it all right out in the right wing. I would agree with the caller insofar as certainly we brought in Ojo. That was a mistake. But these things happen. It's a lot of it's trial and error, especially if you're not going out and spending millions upon millions. And Gerrard obviously knew about the background with the boy being at Liverpool, but it just didn't work. Same as on big, I can't quite remember his name. Ox, the big tall midfielder we had. Ejaria. Well, do you know, I argued with a lot on here. I liked that big bloke. I thought there was umpteen times when he lost the ball, we lost the ball. The amount of times that he got it back for us, but we never ever got to the bottom of that. It was because he couldn't settle or something, wasn't it?
He's with Reading. He started quite brightly with them, but faded.
Yeah. Well, as I say, he did okay for us, and then certainly our manager certainly liked him because he got a lot of games. So, I mean, these things happen. Certainly, I would agree with the fact that as yet we still haven't got a proper right winger because, all intents and purposes, the boy Roof is certainly not a winger. I think he likes to come into the right hand side, but he's certainly not a winger as such. I think he is maybe a number 9. He's maybe a striker.
He played a lot in the right for Leeds, mate.
I know that, mate. But he's not an out and out winger as such. You know, the caller was talking about obviously Candias was a winger, but maybe our manager is intending to play him out there. As yet, I'm not so sure, Ox, or whether he's just playing a straight through the middle, you know. But no, the team's always going to have to evolve. That's always going to be the case, and it's certainly always going to be the case at Rangers. You've always got to look for better.
Okay,
you know?
Alex, and then we'll go to Linda. If you were to pick two positions you would like to improve, obviously Luke's got a fair point about the outside right position. If we play this sort of 4-3-3 system or a play on it, If you've got two positions, you could pick which the two you would employ, Alex and then Linda.
Improved just now, Ox? You talking?
Oh, 10 years ago.
Okay. I would still think that Taverner is possibly still that wee bit of a weak link, because we're having to adapt our shape and our formation to have, like say, Jack and Kamara to go in there and cover him. I do agree with Candace covered him a lot, a couple of seasons ago. So we've had to, I don't think Gerrard trusts Tavernier 100%, and I would like to think that we could have like a ball winner, a box to box midfielder, if we could get one of them.
What you talking about? You talking about a guy like you could argue that Gascoigne got from box to box, or are you talking about Ian Ferguson at his pomp with us who covered the ground box to box?
Aye, well, I would say an Ian Ferguson type, a ball winner. Somebody that can go in there and spoil the game a wee bit.
So that would be your two choices, yeah? Right back and a central mid ball winner. Yeah, I get it. Okay. Linda?
Yeah. But by the way, I think Balogun could possibly do that job. Just my opinion again.
Only time will tell, mate. Only time will tell. Linda?
Yeah, probably right back for me. Maybe even someone that is going to challenge Tav, because I think we've said that we don't think he's getting enough, pressure on him to make sure he is going to be the top of his game every week. Whether the young boy Patterson can do that, time will tell. About a goal scoring midfielder, if it's a box to box, could be somebody even like a Pedro Mendes. Heard somebody talking about him today, or even like an Ian Ferguson, someone who is going to win the ball.
How many goals do you reckon Pedro Mendes scored for us, Linda?
It probably isn't that many, is it, Ox?
They were all crackers, but how many do you think? I'll give you plus or minus maybe 2 million.
I would say eight goals.
I don't think you're far away. I think it was 6, but I'm going to check it out. Yeah, carry on. I get you. He was a good player and a lovely midfield player.
Yeah. I think somebody like him, somebody in midfield who is going to win the ball, but has also got something to offer going forward and will chip in with maybe 6 or 7 goals a season.
All right. Right, Mendes, right. Bridgman. You want an arse centre half?
You're absolutely right. I'm still waiting for a giant to come in and carry us forward from a defensive perspective. I think that we've discussed this in the past, in the recent past, and much like the guys recently, a midfielder, box to box midfielder wouldn't go wrong as far as Rangers are concerned. But it needs to be quality win. We can't just go and buy anybody, but and it would perform something like Barry Ferguson, Ian Ferguson, Pedro Mendes, this type. But that's the kind of quality we're talking about, to be able to do the job for Rangers and carry Rangers on their backs. I'm not dead sure whether we need somebody in the right wing, to be honest. But I think Hadji could do a job out there. He's not had a chance yet. We've not got the full cycle with these guys yet, so we need to wait and see. But that's the areas I would love to see improved. And that's not to say they're being improved up to now. The manager's bringing in guys. It might not be this generation. It might be the next generation where we go and get that big fella that I'm looking for.
Linda, Pedro scored 4 goals in 50 games.
Wow, is that all?
Yeah, but if you think back, one of them was when the day we won the league. One of them was at Parkhead when he scored an absolute screamer.
Yeah.
He also scored a screamer against, I think it was Inverness, and and then I think he scored a volley which was out of this world against Partick Thistle as well. The goals were unbelievable, but no maybe the quality, the quantity, but the quality was definitely there.
Yeah.
George EK, and then Mr. Fox, please.
I think we need. I'm just going to say right back. There's no point talking about that position because Gerrard's got Tavis and Neil down, so there's no point talking about it. But a box to box midfielder, by the way. like
What
Ian
style?
Ferguson.
What style? Ian Ferguson.
Or
Okay.
basically, like Milner, for Liverpool, if he's a bit younger. I mean, he'd be perfect for the job. Not talking about. He's always got a good shot. Not talking about, and he is a good player. And also, I like another striker.
All right. Are you assuming that Morelos is away, George?
Aye, I'm up.
All right. Okay. All right. Good. Great points, mate. Foxy boy.
There'd only be one player for me, and it would be a striker. I wish people would get after our captains back. We've got an able deputy and the young boy Nathan Patterson. We're all moaning about nothing comes out the academy. This young boy's got it, and he'll get his chance if Tav is injured. And people need to remember that our captain is the most consistent player in the league again this season. In the first 4 games, mate, with the highest rating of any player.
Oh, well said, young man. Well said. That's put the cat amongst the pigeons. Look, in we come, mate. Obviously, you put your. I think you went for first of all to replace a right winger. What would be your second position?
I think for me is what we've got to realise. The last couple of seasons, Borna Barisic he's been injured. He's injury-prone times. He's been injured, say, with Croatia, picked up knocks, the likes against Braga, which obviously Joe Aribo then played left-back and had a worldie. But I think the boy Calvin Bassey, I'm not sure if he's a centre-back or if he plays left-back, but I feel, if Barisic was to pick up an injury, you'd maybe need another out-and-out left-back, depending obviously on where Bassey plays, and we haven't seen enough of him.
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask you a question, Ox?
Yes, mate.
Who's the better defender out of Barisic and Tav?
Tavernier.
Correct.
That's an easy one, Fox. Any other ones you want to give me?
I know. I mean, Barisic doesn't get the same stick as Tavernier. And for me, Barisic isn't exactly a good defender either. But in our system, they don't have to be. And for people that are looking for a box-to-box midfielder, we would need to again change our style of play. Mm-hmm. Because the people that are in there, Jack, Kamara or Davis, cover for our adventurous fullbacks. And if we brought in another midfielder, he would need to play the same role as the ones that are there originally.
I think the point that sometimes people are trying to make, Fox, with the greatest respect to you being one of the wisest men I've ever met, that when we're playing Livingston, we're only coming up the park. Do we need 2 sitting there? Or can we leave one sitting there and push another one of them forward and play a more creative player in their type of games?
But in their type of games, Ox, even Livingston will leave 2 up front. And they will if we've not got the defensive midfielders sitting there to cover our fullbacks. If
they do that, then we tweak our system. But when you think about it, they never even had one up front, did they? If I'm being honest.
No, but I'm just saying. I mean, I think
in a game of football, in a normal game of football, when we're successful, where 2 fullbacks are pushed that up far up the park, they're not really playing as fullbacks, are they?
No, they are not.
No.
If we're playing with an attacking midfielder, and instead of three defensive midfielders, our fullbacks wouldn't need to keep bombing forward. If you've got a Barry Ferguson, who did Barry Ferguson have on either side of him? It's all right saying we can play with 3 and you're playing with your fullbacks pushing forward along with your 2 wingers, but none of the 3 that have been playing, Kamara, Arfield or Jack, or the other one, Davis. I'm sorry, Davis, when he was younger, I would get the ball and drive. We don't have one midfielder now that drives forward with the ball, and we do need one. It's
really, mate?
100%. Who have we got then?
Joe Aribo.
Oh, sorry. Aye, we've got Aribo. That's right. Sorry, but I mean, you still need another one in there, as it's proved now. Because when Aribo's injured, we're all missing him. We weren't all missing him last season. I keep saying that. So
we started the season well. You've got to give credit.
Absolutely, he's been brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. But that's what I'm saying. we still need another midfielder in there. A box-to-box player is a must, and there's no doubt about it. I believe our manager is looking for one, because the story is that bloke that he was looking at, they had agreed the fee of £4 million. It was something to do with personal terms that fell through with. So there's no doubt about it. That's the type of player he wants.
The personal terms can be hard, because we made Bridge a great offer to go to Sky. Linda, on Fox's point,
in terms of Tavernier, or
yes,
changing the system, I think it is a good point he makes, and I think Gerrard said that himself a few times. The fact that he seems to be explaining himself a wee bit more over the last couple of weeks in terms of the formation and how the team are trying to play. But he did say the fact that he needs the two, the sitting midfielders to cover the two, the two wide backs. In terms of Tav and Barisic, and I actually don't think he'll change his system, Ox. I think Gerrard will stick with that. I would like Tav to concentrate a wee bit more in his defending this year and just cut out the mistakes, and I think if he does that, then I think he'll get the fans back on side.
How many goals we lost this season, Linda? In the league? Just wondering when you're looking at that against column, how many numbers you see.
I know, none.
Right, just asking, just out of curiosity.
It's just, I suppose, I don't know, we're a hard crowd to please, aren't we?
Uh-huh. We've not lost a goal last season, and we're having a go. Bridge wants a new centre half. We want a new right back. Barisic can't defend, and we've not lost a goal last season. George, help me out here.
But Rangers supporters, that's the way we are. We want everything.
All right, nothing wrong with that, George. Nothing wrong with that. We just want to keep improving, and that's the way it should be, Luca.
That's exactly the way it should be.
Look, there's always going to...
Yeah. Aye, that's the one.
Yeah, you're right. Alex, there's a consensus there that we've got. It's pretty much somebody on the right side or a midfield. I like Noah, Mr. Bridge, with the greatest of respect, because I think we're very adequate at this moment in time in the centre half area. Would you agree?
At the present moment,
if there's
yes,
a position
yes.
in the team, if there's a position in the team that we're loaded with class and ability, it's the centre defence this year. It's been absolutely fantastic. The performances that Connor Golson's been putting in for the start of the season has been nothing short of, absolute perfect. But then you've got Hollander coming in, subsidising for Balogun, and Balogun's only out the team picked up the injury. Balogun, yeah. So no, the centre, the whole defence has been really good to now, but we've not really been tested yet because we're coming up against 10-man defences so far.
Yeah.
When we will get tested is Hibs away, and when we play the puddle drinkers, that's when we'll know if our defence is good enough or not.
I think we've been. Can I just say it? I know the defence has been quite good, and I'm really happy with them. But I think our midfield, the defensive midfield, have been excellent, and they're the ones that have done a lot for us as well. And they're the ones that stopped the balls coming through a lot of the times. I think it's been great. A great performance by the defensive side of the team, and then backed up by a good goalkeeper.
Wonder, I've just been sent a message from a Mr. Stephen from the Drum.
All right.
He just says he wants to congratulate you on being part of the panel, and he'll gladly take you for a Happy Meal. Now, I don't know if that's one of these cheap deals you go on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at the moment, or it's McDonald's with a toy. I don't know.
It's probably McDonald's.
He's known for his generosity, but...
Well, that's all right. Tell him it might have to be a Thursday or a Friday, and there ain't any 50% off then.
Oh, he might get back to you then.
You sure it's 50?
You want that billet for his Linda?
I don't think I'll have to work that one down.
Oh dear. So what he's saying is, you're damn brilliant. That's what he's saying.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Right. So we've got we're in a good place, Fox. The Gerrard situation, the point you made about the European run, that's allowed us to bring in Balogun, that's allowed us to bring in Hadji, that's allowed us to keep building, innit?
Oh, without a doubt. I think the European money has been the catalyst for everything that's going on in Ibrox just now. That and, of course, the tremendous support for our fan base and buying season tickets and now merchandise, although when we were talking about that earlier on, Ox, I have noticed on the forums that Castor are beginning to issue refunds. One of the moderators on Follow get squared up today and he's quite happy now. So things are looking good for the club.
We had a discussion there about Morelos, and obviously Tav was mentioned, and I've been sent this stat. Somebody sent me while we were on the show. I'll just read it out to you. Yeah? Alfie scored 79 goals and assisted in 31 and 142 games, yeah? So that means he's been involved in 110 goals. Pretty good, yeah? He can go with his blessing and we'll love him and he'll go. Tav scored 46, assisted in 77 in 240 games as a right back. Who's getting better stats?
But I mean, we've got to be serious on that. A lot of that was done in the Championship, and his goals have dried up a wee bit over the last year, I would say.
He's assists, hasn't he?
But his consistency has been good, mate. As I say, I think he was the scapegoat for a lot of fans because he was caught up the part so often. But since the new system's been introduced, the 4-2-3-1, that's allowed the defensive midfielders to help out the two centre-backs who were exposed a great deal of the time last year.
Fox, I would agree with you on that one as well, Ox. Fox has got a point there. Much as Tav did make mistakes, you've got to remember, we never ever really had a centre-half pairing that was adequate enough insofar as they were getting long runs together. Because it was always Goldson plus, and it was always guys were always getting chopped and changed. So it could well be that Tav gets a bit more leeway if our centre halves are more saturated being together most of the time. Certainly the big guy that's came in, Balogun, he's shone out for me far more than for the likes of Helander. I'm just not sure about him yet. But there's no doubt about it. It's brought Goldson on leaps and bounds. The very fact he thinks he's got somebody else next to him, you know.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if you heard the Andy Halliday comment on Tav on open goal, mate, where he said that he couldn't understand the Rangers support and having a go at Taverner. He says, as a captain, he leads by example. And the players really appreciate him, mate. So I think that's important that you have a captain that other players they appreciate what he does for the team.
It's like the lobby in here, isn't it? Skipper gets all the plaudits, but CB's the man.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Ox, can I say something, please?
Yes.
Just on Taverner.
Yes.
I think why Taverner gets a hard deal off the Rangers support is it's not really to do with his play currently, because he has been playing well. And obviously the stats prove that with 0 goals conceded. I think the Rangers support still have in the memory his comments on that match programme for the Hamilton Accies game. I mean, for a Rangers captain coming out with these sort of comments is quite incredible, you know. So I don't think he done himself any favours then. But
that's fair comment.
What I would say is whoever wrote that for him never got somebody to proofread it, Alec.
Yeah.
But
the only way he'll win back your Rangers support is to, you know, put in strong performances again and maybe chip in with the odd goal. But listen, the stats are there. It's the Rangers' defence isn't an issue this year. It's been brilliant.
Time will tell.
But again, is that down to the fullbacks or down to the two defensive midfielders, Alec?
A bit of both, mate. they obviously offer the option of going forward, but Kamara and Jack have been absolutely superb at slotting in behind them to cover them. So we've always got a solid back line to go through. So a bit of both. It's the work ethic is in the team, and Gerrard's getting through them now. The style of play that he wants to play. So it's great to see.
Fair comment again.
It'll be interesting. To see how it pans out. And
I think that was.
Hope that Mr. Tavernier, whatever he is, he's got maybe 3 bits of silverware above his head in the next season. I think that would help change the support's mind.
Here.
Definitely.
I think the thing about Tavernier, the penalties as well, you know, it didn't help him when he was missing those penalties. And that was at the time when his form wasn't doing well on the defensive side. So I think once, you know, he took the penalties off and he felt, you know, the pressure was gaining. So I think that helped him to get a new forward, a penalty taker.
I think I think when the penalties were taken off him and he was a wee bit off form, his form got even worse, to be honest with you.
And
it took a while to come back. It's not even back yet, truth be told. Was that bad?
See the penalties, Bridge.
I'm with you. I would have left them taking the penalties, mate.
See the penalties, Bridge. Most of the ones he missed hit the post, mate. You're talking about centimetres.
Absolutely, yeah.
He wasn't a player that continually blootered them out the bar or made it easy for the goalkeeper to save. I think he was a bit unlucky there. And I would keep him on penalties.
Be under no illusion. Tavernier was our mainstay for free kicks and penalties. He was the main man. He had the most assists. Some of the stats would tell you he had a fantastic bit of form with the Rangers. And unfortunately, the form dropped. And I think instead of supporting him for the first couple of games where penalties and free kicks mattered, or maybe no mattered, but we didn't score them anyway because he was a wee bit off form. To keep that up, keep it going. Instead of that, what we've done is possibly
Blue Star,
helped
you
him
know
to
better.
drop.
Yeah,
It probably helped him to drop his form, and his form dropped like a stone. And he's fighting it back now.
I've just had a PM saying, "On you go, Foxy." You can imagine who that came be.
Right. Yeah. All right. I know. Listen, as I told you before, Foxy's got the Tavernier tattoo. That's the problem, and he wants to do well. But look, only time will tell. But what I will say is, you can come in with this point, Blue Star. There's always going to be fans' favourites who'll move on when you're trying to improve your team. I keep making that point.
100% all the time. And that's what we're talking about with Candace. As I said last night, Fox, if you take into account our last captain with Lee Wallace, for me, if you're asking any fan who the better players was between Tav and Lee Wallace, there's no comparison. And yet Lee Wallace never took the flag that Tav gets. So fans can be fickle. I know at the end up, but I mean, fans can be fickle just the same, Ox, you know. There's no getting away from the fact. For the games that Tav's played, yes, some of them were in the Championship. We realise that. He's made a couple of mistakes. Of course he has, but what player hasn't he? To all intents and purposes, the guy's Foxy's right there. But there's no a more consistent player out there. There just isn't.
All right, but everybody's got their opinion and sees it slightly different. Anyway, we've been joined by another caller. Evening, caller.
Hello, boys. How are you?
All right, Dave. You all right, mate?
I'm cool, mate. Yeah, thanks. How's everything going on?
All right, mate. What's on your mind?
I've just tuned in, bud. So, what's the topic for tonight then?
Well, we were talking about. I think it was Pythagoras how he came up with his theorem, mate.
One does figure that, you know.
Oh, Alex, that was a bit sore. That was below the belt.
She's still counting, Alex.
It's up to 10 million now. It's 10 million pounds.
Shoes and socks are off.
Dave, we're talking about the point is how we improve our team, and the question was put to the panel: what 2 positions you would pick to improve? And there's been a mixed bag, right back, right wing.
That's a tricky one. Tricky one. That is very tricky, to be honest. Right back.
Some people have mentioned that. That's your choice.
Right,
It's up to you.
right back. Tab's got that all day, every day, mate. There's no doubt about that. He's not going anywhere. He's had it quite easy since he's been with us. And we've had right backs and stuff like that. And Tab seems to be shining all the way through it all. Obviously, all the managers who've been through us as managing us.
Yeah, but what
They've
positions
seen something
would you
different.
improve?
They've seen something different from us. You know. I think at the moment, we've got a great squad, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean from top to bottom, from keepers to defence, midfield. Yeah, we're lacking strikers at the moment, but hopefully we can sort that one out. But I think
We've got
that
4
Balongo-
strikers.
Huh?
Well, at the moment, we've got 4 strikers.
Yeah, but we've not got that killer instinct of a striker who knows what the goals are for even looking at them. That's the problem. You know, I think that's what we're lacking of. But I think in defence-wise, I think Balongo, he's come on well. He's from the first game he came on with us. He's hit the ground running, very, very good. I'm very happy with him, and I think.
So what 2 positions would you improve? Nobody. We're going to win
midfield, mate. Midfield.
Right. All right.
We need something like a Barry Ferguson to take control of the midfield and
Has been mentioned. Yes, has been mentioned.
And to dominate it and take control of everything that's in the midfield, because he did that and being a leader at the same time.
They're not easy to find, but are they?
Pardon?
They're not easy to find.
This is it. They're like hidden diamonds, mate. That's what they are.
Okay.
You know,
I don't get the striker one at the moment, Linda. Obviously, if Alfie was to go and Defoe getting older, yeah. But as Alfie still at the club, I don't think we're short of strikers, eh?
No,
I know that. But I think Etten.
Dave, your name's no Linda.
Sorry.
Your name's no Linda unless you use it at the weekend. Linda, in you come.
No, I don't think we're short on strikers now. With Etten and Roof coming in, Alfie probably is going to go. And even if Alfie does go, hopefully Defoe, he'll get injury free and we'll have him as well. I can't see us going out and getting another striker. I think he'll go with what we've got up front.
Alex.
Hello.
We're not short of strikers unless Morelos goes.
No, you're right, pal. You're right. But if he does go, I would be looking at the young boy Brewster for Liverpool. I think that boy's exceptional. And I think Gerrard's got the pulling power that he could convince Liverpool to bring him up here. The guy was exceptional for Swansea there last year. Took them to the playoffs. He's the England under-21 striker. So if Morelos does go, I would be going down the road and see if we can convince Mr. Klopp to give us young Brewster to see us to 55.
We've brought 3 players for Liverpool, and I would argue that 2 of them haven't cut the mustard.
No, not.
Alex.
No, you're right.
Dave, wait till your name's mentioned, mate. Yeah, I'll write your name down if you want it, and you can put it on the back of your hand.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. Just wait. I'll mention your name in a minute. Don't worry.
That's cool.
Alex, you know what I mean? The Ajara and Ojo, they came up with big reps, and Scottish football fund them out.
Yep, I can't argue with that, Ox. But I think this young boy Brewster's a different level for it.
You think
he's shown in that championship. We know a great Swansea team. He's shown for them up front, and he's. I think Klopp's got a future set out for him and playing in specific roles in different leagues. And I think it'll be a good 2-way deal for us and for that boy to go back to Liverpool a better player.
All right, George EK.
I'm talking about we don't have any problems with strikers. Roof's very injury prone, so I think we do need another striker.
George, can you go and sign another striker and tell somebody, by the way, I want you to come and we're going to spend X amount of millions just
I know
in case somebody gets injured.
I know where you're coming to there, man. Know what I mean?
Aye.
Ruth has got a hangmate attack record. They've been injured a lot. And at the end of the day, man, you come to Scotland, you don't get any time in the ball, I'm talking about. You know what I'm coming for? In England today, up here they don't.
What's that?
Celtic out of Europe.
Right.
That's him out. Oh.
Alex, I've been told don't give
Sorry.
results out on here. They'll
That's
hang
bad
you.
language, that is.
Can you get yourself?
Sorry, I just said-
Can you get yourselves in mute, please? Can you get yourselves in mute? We've got a tune.
Making your way in Europe today takes everything you've got. 60,000 eddies, with season tickets bought. But maybe you have to win a game in order to progress a bit beyond the second round. Where bombs like you are never found. It's just another fact of life. It's never gonna go away. There's no Thames left in Europe by Christmas Day. It's a grand old team to play for, or so we're fucking told. Yet every year in Europe there's 11 jerseys sold. They has been sides for France or Spain, who just can't believe their luck when your name comes at the heart. Take cries of who the fuck is that? Just a pushy Glasgow team. You give us all the book. Your European campaign's a fucking joke.
I think we might have another one.
Another
That was
tune.
good.
I can only apologise for some of the language. Me and Bridge didn't understand it. Can the people on the phone, we had to drop you because of the interference coming through you. You come right through, you don't realise it when you're not on mute. So if you're on the phone and you cut off there, feel free to phone back in. It was only because we had the tune on, and you're welcome to join us again. Oh dear, what a shame. Linda.
Oh wow, Locks. For once in my life, as a woman, I'm can't, words fail me. I'm afraid I can't believe that.
That's you. You're not very good at maths. You're not very good at speaking.
No, there you go.
What does that actually mean then? Was that them completely out of Europe, or is that it? Or is that...
No, they drop into the Europa League.
Yeah.
No, they don't.
Oh,
Don't
did
think
they? They drop into the Europa League.
I
Yeah,
think
with the
you've-
yeah.
Have you not got to get to the qualifier?
No, not that.
No,
I think they go.
there's a
I think they drop
parachuting.
straight through, pal.
Yeah.
Well, they're
Parachuting.
certainly out the Champions League, and it's you know that big sum of money that they put up there, 25 or 30 million or whatever they say it is, maybe 40 million. It's maybe reached, by the time you never know. So they're not going to get. They'll never win that this year. So they're, as far as I know, they're in the Europa League. But Fox, I might be wrong. So my apologies if I am. Apologies if I am.
That'll be Edward sold tomorrow.
Yeah, beauty.
He never get playing tonight, didn't he? No.
No.
Wow. That's one thing
Anyway.
he can say to himself about. I never was in a losing team. Sorry, boys. Sorry.
Anyway, I think we've been joined by, I think it's Robert. I'm not sure. Evening caller.
Evening, Ox. How we doing, pal?
Oh, well, with worse evenings, mate.
Oh, mate, I'm having a great evening because on my Fire Stick, I've just watched a great game of football. That's all I'm going to say.
I can't encourage people to watch illegal streams, Robert.
Mate, I don't normally watch the unwatched, but I had a wee feeling in my stomach tonight when I came home from work at 7:30. I thought, get the Fire Stick on and watch it, Robert, because I had a wee feeling, mate, and you know what? Turned out good. I'm so happy tonight.
All right, so you chose to watch that team play, and we're on here.
Yes, but
watch your step, Robert. Now, watch your step.
No, Brisman, listen. I had Fox didn't let me finish here. I had the volume down in the TV because I can't listen to that Jerry McCulloch and all that. I had the volume down in the TV and I was listening to Rangers Radio as I was watching the game.
Oh, what a swerve that was, Robert. Brilliant. I liked it.
Oh, brilliant.
Well manufactured, brilliant. Robert. Well manufactured, pal.
Brilliant, guys.
What does that mean, Robert? Does that mean they're out of Europe or did they go into the UEFA Cup?
I don't really care. I think they're in Europa League, but let's be honest, they'll not get as far as us, but they're in Europa League, so I don't really care, as I say. But I'm just happy when they get beat. It just makes me happy, mate. That's all it does.
They'll win the qualifiers in the Europa League. That's for sure.
That's it.
All right, we've got another caller coming in. She'll be with us in a second. And as I said, the callers who were on, you're welcome to come back in because we had to drop you because your interference when the tune was on. Well, the financial playing field just get tighter. Bridgeman.
And how. You know, what can I say? I don't really want to say too much about them because it'll make it sound really bad coming from us. But really, as a good result for anybody who doesn't support them in that sense, you know. And I didn't want them to get through, and then they never got through. So, but I have to say, it wouldn't have made any difference if they got through. They got through. But really and truly, you know, another shocker, another absolute shocker. This is a team that were going to absolutely mollocate, and never did it. I don't know where their form's gone. I don't know what's happened to them. So, I'm very happy, Bridgman here. So I can't say too much more than that.
I must admit, it wasn't on my radar. I don't follow them that closely as some of you do. Obviously, some of you never missed them playing, which is a shock. Well,
can I just come in there quickly because I know that you're running out of time and the show's nearly ended. It's been a great. Can I just come in there quickly and we're talking about Europe tonight with that lot, right? Mm-hmm. And can I just say, I wish Rangers fans listen to Rangers Radio. And what I like about Rangers Radio is you're allowed an opinion and you can say how you feel when it comes to the heart. And it always comes to the heart for me. But I love listening to guys. I love listening to you all, but I love particularly listening to guys like say Allbeard and especially Fox. And Fox got it right at the start of the show tonight. See all this nonsense talking about, I don't care if Rangers get knocked out in the early stages of the Europa League or the Scottish Cup or the League Cup. That's nonsense because see the money in that Europa League Steven Gerrard's brought in the last 2 years, 20 million. If we hadn't got that far, we wouldn't have brought Ryan Kent, we wouldn't have brought guys like Balogun and all that. So Rangers fans, going to please stop all this nonsense. See, we're a Rangers fan and we're in 4 competitions. You want to win the 4 competitions. That's what a Rangers fan is all about. And I'd just like to say, Fox, I'm a big fan like yourself about James Tavernier, but see tonight and that you said about the Europa League get knocked out in the early stages and you said no chance. I totally agree with you, mate.
All right. You two having a loving. All right, enough's enough, Robert. You've made your point.
A man of good taste.
Oh dear.
Thank you, Fox.
How many creeps have we done tonight, Bridgeman? How many?
I'm not a creep. I'm a Rangers fan.
Quite a few, by the way. Quite a few by the sound of it.
Well said, Robert. Well said. We're waiting for callers. I don't know. Our lines have just got awful busy all of a sudden, Linda. What do you think? Yeah, I don't know why. Anybody get any reason? We've been joined by Stephen. Evening, Stephen.
All right, how's it going?
All right, mate. Well, I've had better nights, you know. Yourself?
Oh, come on now. Brilliant. So I just wanted to throw in a wee thing and then I need to go and put the wee man to bed. But
right, he's 24 as well, your wee man.
Not quite, but...
Go on then, what's on your mind, mate?
Oh, listen, what's on my mind is brilliant. The full extent of what's happened tonight, right? I'm the same as you. I can't care less what happens to them, honestly. I have no inclination for them at all. I don't even look at their scores. My brother sent me a text, whatever. They're in trouble in a few more ways than people are thinking about. See their Adidas contract.
Put them under the spotlight, Stephen. Put them under the spot.
Oh, aye, definitely. But there's a couple of things financially, right? Now, I says to you last time was on about the co-op loan. Right, that's now putting them in the backside. They've got to start sort of dealing with that. If you look at their accounts, you can kind of piece it together. So I know bore you with the details of that, but it'll take you 10 minutes. But on top of that, see that Adidas deal? I don't know if you know how Adidas work with their sponsorships or the different clubs they deal with. They've got so many parameters and so many things that have to be met in order for the full whack. So even though they're saying, listen, this is a 25 million deal, whatever else, they've probably lost about 5 million of that in one night. Because if they're no showcased in the Champions League, they lose a massive cut of that. I think it's like 40% or something.
Wow.
Wow. Honestly, you can go and look at any Adidas, and I challenge any Celtic fan to correct me on this, because I know 100% this is accurate. Now you think of their team, you think of the money, you think they've dropped 20 odd million just on that. They've lost that a huge chunk of that sponsorship money. Their players are at that point. Can I just
cut across you, Stephen? Breaking news. I've got to come in with this, mate. Ball and Goal has confirmed the Celtic's Player of the Year after going further in Europe than the rest of his Carry on, Stephen.
Fair play.
Very good.
For God's sake. There was a you threw me there.
I had to come in with that, mate.
Oh, that's a belter, man. Brilliant. It's just one of them. You're looking at their team.
When you take the revenue, that's the money for the Champions League. That's the money for the sponsors. That's the money for if the gates they got opened up. You can't charge the same money for the Europa League as you charge for the Champions League. You're maybe talking about maybe 30, 40 million disappearing after balance sheet. Oh, what a shame.
Now, I'll say this, and don't give us a hard time for it, but one of my mates he's a groundskeeper at Parkhead, and
thanks for your call. Don't be a stranger.
You've got to keep your enemies close, innit? That's what they say.
Right, carry on, mate.
So I talked to the big man, talked about the money, and that's what I'm saying to him. Listen, you're in trouble. You're the only team, right? You need to start looking at the numbers. Don't look at the football team. Don't look at all the things you're trying to do. Look at the numbers, and I've always said that to him. You're the only team that are chasing. You're desperate to get fans through that door. You have no money. Honestly, they're in trouble, and that mob, obviously the great unwashed, they've not got a clue. They're not educated enough to understand what's going on. I understand what's going on, and see if you just take 20 minutes to look through their accounts, you'll see what's going on there. They're in big time trouble, and they're painting this picture that they've got 40 million to spend and 50 here and there and whatever. This is why they're talking to other players, even the bum players. They're talking them up because they've no money. And honestly, see when this collapses, that Dave King was right 3 years ago. See, all it takes is one time for them not to qualify for that Champions League and they're in trouble. Now, that's obviously a businessman. He knows his sell. He's obviously looked at the accounts and thought they are in trouble. And that's three on their own. Now, come on, that's them. They're gubbed. And you look at what's happening with us now. What's good about us is a company like Castor, right? I'm not saying they're naive or whatever, but I'll use the word anyway. A wee bit naive in the sense of when they say there's 25 million, that's the deal. That's it. There's no caveat to that. That's what comes. We Adidas, as I say, so many strings attached, and they're not hitting any of them. Not one of them. So
that's good news, by the way.
They don't buy the 2 or 3 strips, do they? They just buy the one and keep it on.
Aye, 10 years ago, something like that. But you see them kicking about the 1970s retro kit, and you're like, yeah, that's no retro, mate, that's original.
Linda, do you know this show was quite serious till you came on it?
I know. Set the tone for the night, Ox.
Stephen, great point, mate, great point. For us, mate, it's a financial playing field, and there could be a fire sale. We've also been joined by the global ambassador all the way for us.
Can you hear me all right? Celtic
Yeah, we can
Radio.
hear you, big man.
You just phoned me back, aye.
Celtic Radio.
Jesus.
Oh,
That boy
God,
that's
yourself,
talking,
big man.
he's turning into one of them, man. Knows about their accounts and all that. Anyway, enough said.
Oh, come on.
Back
Listen,
about you.
they've
Hey, mate, I
analysed
made
us
a
for
joke
10.
with you. Look, wait a minute. It's
They've analysed
7
us
in the
for
morning
10
here.
years. It's only fair.
I thought it was still having a bad nightmare. Anyway, back to what you were saying, Oxjay, about
Yes,
the players, adding players and where we should strengthen. I think we should. We do really need another striker. I don't think you can have too many in that position, and the fact try to keep them happy. I'm not really worried about keeping them happy. I want there to be aggressive competition up front. I want people to be wanting to go in the park. Itton is unproven. Somebody did say Roof could be injury prone. I hope he isn't, because I like the look at him. I do like the look at Itton as well, but he's still a young fella to score goals. The Bull, we don't know what's on with him, and do we really think Defoe's strong enough to come back? I'm not 100% sure, so I think that is a position that's critical, that we have to have another player there.
I think if Morelos goes out the door, we will sign somebody in the forward area, yeah? But if Morelos miraculously stays, I don't know if we will go chasing an half forward.
If he stays, will his attitude be right enough?
Can't answer that.
He's not scored goals he's not scored goals since last Christmas.
I think you've been totally unfair there, mate. It was a winter break, then he was suspended for 4 games, and then with COVID, mate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was. I know what you're saying, but that's the feeling you get. But he never came back and lit up the. He never came back and lit up the Premier League.
No, he wasn't great when he came back. He wasn't great when he came back. Well, he scored 2 goals this season, didn't he? Anyway, listen, big man, always a pleasure to hear from you.
Show?
It shortly will be in a couple of minutes.
No problem. Take care, gentlemen. All the best.
Yeah, you take it easy, big man.
Cheers, Al.
All the best, Al.
Yeah. Steve, I get your point. And by the way, the reason it is important for us is because they've lauded it over us and thought we're this. And this has been a silent assassin sneaking up on them. And I've talked about sport integrity and some of the things they've done and what they've been involved with in the last 20, 30, 40, 50 years. They'll come back and haunt them. Anyway.
That's what you have been saying for the last 3 weeks. That's same
More
idea.
Than that, pal. More than that. Believe me.
Definitely. Well, I've only been listening for a few.
No, but I'm just saying that Oxjay has been saying it for quite a wee while. So.
Aye. We're definitely doing the right thing. Just go on with our business quietly and just let them sing and do what they're doing, shout ball and make all the noise they can.
Who's doing all the moving? Stop moving or blowing your nose, somebody. Or go on mute. Right, what a night, Linda. What a night. What a performance by your good self. Do you enjoy it?
Yeah, I enjoyed it, Ox. Apart from the arithmetic question.
Oh, well, we'll keep the numbers away for you the next time, yeah?
Yeah, that's a good idea. It does help if you can hear the question.
So you don't do arithmetic, you don't do speaking, you'll get bad hearing, you waste your time coming on here.
I know. I'm still lost.
Been a lucky charm for us tonight, mate.
Oh, thank you.
That's very good of you, folks. I never thought it like that, but well said indeed.
You may be on every night now, Linda.
I don't think you guys would be prepared for that.
Well, Bridgeman, I don't know. You've had major surgery in the last few weeks, but all of a sudden you seem to have perked up. I can't think why.
Oh, it's been wonderful. A great result tonight for the rest of the work, the rest of the human race, in my opinion. What can we say? Well, maybe they'll find out how they feel tomorrow and the next day. You might find the manager getting moved on. You might find anything happening over there. Who knows? Because that's a very, very difficult time for them now. As the guy said earlier, I think it was Dave that's saying the amount of money they're losing or potentially losing. Stephen, sorry. The amount of money they're potentially losing, a lot of money. Above 30 million. Massive. No club can, if they're budgeting for that, then they're going to be way behind. Anyway, can I just say to all the Rangers fans all over the world, in particular Rangers fans on here on Rangers Radio, every single one of us, rejoice. Keep it going for the Rangers and keep happy. Everybody stay safe.
Can I thank everybody that phoned in this evening? everybody that phoned in. We enjoyed all the calls. Can I thank all the boys that helped us on the lobby and came in on Skype, Alex. But a big special shout out to our own Linda, who made her debut in Rangers Radio tonight as a panel member, first class. Thank Bridgeman and Fox for joining us. Also Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back tomorrow night, and I'm sure all the Bears will be smiling, but we'll be joined by George Logan. Take it away, Old School Blue.
Keep it going. Keep it going.